It takes a lot to make a nation, and operating that a nation should be stable, but never stand still. The U.S. Marshals are no different.
Some of the biggest takeaways that we can get from looking at the story of Bass Reeves, or honestly any of the other black deputies who were working at that time, is simply looking at that struggle over adversity. If there's anything that any of them had, it was obstacles every step of the way. Bass Reeves started out as an enslaved person. To the best of our knowledge, he was born in rural Crawford County, up north of the town that's currently there is Alma. When he was a youth, the enslaver who owned him moved his entire family and property down to Texas, just the other side of the Red River.
Bass grew up on that property in North Texas, until war broke out within the nation, when Bass Reeves gained his freedom.
Then he went and lived in Indian Territory, from what we understand, either Indian Territory, possibly staying in Texas, until about 1870.
When Bass returned to Arkansas.
A lot of the story of Bass Reeves following his return is really kind of shrouded in mystery. We know that they arrived around the beginning of 1870 based on an entry in the census, and he lived in and around Van Buren for most of the next 10 years.
During that time, Bass took on various jobs, like working as a posseman for deputy marshals, until finally,
in the early 1880s, he receives his own deputation and becomes a deputy U.S. Marshal in his own right, and starts riding out with a posse man into Indian Territory to start going after criminals.
As a marshal, Bass would issue subpoenas to witnesses and chase down fugitives with active warrants.
Bass and a small number of other deputies turned it into more of a serious business operation, where he would ride out with a couple of wagons, he'd have a posse man, he would have a cook, he would have somebody riding a separate wagon just with supplies and to carry some of the prisoners. He would go out for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time and then return with anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 prisoners as a result of that trip.
But that business was nearly destroyed by an accident.
I think for the most important thing that ever happened to Bass was probably the accidental shooting of his camp cook, William Leach, in 1884. By the court testimony, he's trying to clear a jammed cartridge out of his rifle, and for whatever reason, something goes wrong mechanically. The gun fires accidentally, and he shoots his camp cook in the neck. The man ended up dying as a result of the injury.
Bass returned home with the prisoners he had, and no action had been taken by the court for the incident, until
2 years later, after a change in the president and the political party in the White House, a new U.S. attorney and a new U.S. Marshal show up in Fort Smith. Very quickly after that, Bass is charged for the murder of the cook,
stopping Bass from working as a deputy for over a year while awaiting his trial.
Eventually, he goes to trial in the fall of 1887, and Bass is acquitted for that murder. The problem is, during that entire time, he's not able to make any money.
After selling his home in Van Buren, Bass hit the road again, hunting down more fugitives to bring back to Fort Smith.
It's never the same for him in Fort Smith.
After his wife died, Bass moved to Muskogee, working as a marshal until Oklahoma became a state in 1907. He then retired from the marshal's service, working as a Muskogee police officer until he died. Meanwhile, the legacy of his time in the marshal's service lives on.
He was very good at what he did. There's been claims that he arrested as many as 3,000 prisoners, but I really believe the number of arrests he made was closer to about 1,000, maybe 1,500.
Overcoming the challenges his early life threw at him, and becoming one of the most famous black marshals in history.
Many of them, like Bass, were illiterate. Many of them were coming up from literally being legal property of another human. They all were coming in with literally nothing. They were fighting against racism in the post-Civil War South. These are all men that we can all look at with pride as Americans and recognize that they are people who we should look up to.
Once a Washington, always a Marshall.